unless, of course, you're then passed. That then means you're not in the lead. So lane 5 generally is the happy medium that takes both advantages of the inner and the outer, right in the middle. So 5, 6, 4, here we go. Ladies are off. Who's getting a good start? Cortland State looks out, looks smooth, but in lane 7, IUP, strong start. Almost making up the stagger there on Oniata. Decent exchange. Looks like the second leg could have got out a little bit more. In 7 and 8, we have Indiana in the all black, Oniata in the red bottoms. They are in the lead right now. Not the smoothest exchange for IUP. And we see Oniata having take advantage of that. They now may be in the lead or very close. How about Edinburgh in lane 2, but also Millersville in 4. Oniata having a great exchange from 2 to 3, helping them move ahead on IUP. Millersville having a strong finish. Ithaca coming up as well, perhaps for second. Great finish from Ithaca for second. It's going to be SUNY. Oniata, 48.33. Ithaca, 8.81. Point Park, all in the 48s, 8-5. Millersville, 9-1. Very close battle at the end. Great anchor leg from Ithaca. Oniata, smooth sticks, what looked all the way around. Little bit of flub up will expose some of these teams. It's the nature of this event. Near perfection is a must. And that can happen. We saw it. A flub up, quote unquote, can happen by leaving early. When you leave early, you then may have to slow down. Then you don't have your momentum going into your carry, into your leg. So the tape you're seeing Elizabethtown stick down, that is what is called a go mark. So when her teammate hits that mark, she's off to the races. Some think the 4x1 is more complicated. The USA Olympic team would think that, as they have struggled historically over the years. But in some sense, I would argue it's one of the easiest exchanges by the sheer nature of once your teammate hits the go mark, you guys have practiced and established. See you later. You're gone. And you are building maximum velocity as soon as you can with the idea that the giver is running smoothly up to you, and that baton just floats right into your receiver's hand, and it's a smooth transition. Because these ladies you're looking at are coming from zero. They're coming from a dead start. So they create that gap and try to build up speed as fast and as quick as possible to get to near max velocity. Obviously, they're not going to do that in such short of time, but that's their aim as the giver is finishing their leg. So we have lane 3, 5, 7, 8. Oniata winning from the outer lane there. In lane 3, Lockhaven. 5, Elizabethtown. 7, Bloomsburg, and St. Francis in 8. So Lockhaven, Elizabethtown, Bloomsburg, and St. Francis. Gun is up. Clean start. Lockhaven looks like they're out strong, as does our athletes in lane 7 and 8, St. Francis and Bloomsburg. Looks like St. Francis will be in the lead if they have a clean exchange. Rather, that's Bloomsburg in the white. Bloomsburg having a good second leg. E-Town there in the blue doing the same. Bloomsburg is a little bit ahead of E-Town. It might look like a lot more, but it's not as much as it appears. Nonetheless, it is Bloomsburg with the lead. Bloomsburg in the white going into the anchor exchange. If this is smooth, they will be ahead. And it is. E-Town having a little bit of struggle. They get spat out the back. We have a great anchor here from St. Francis closer. St. Francis's anchor having a day, reeling in Bloomsburg for the W, 49 mid. Get the official time, 6-0 for St. Francis. Bloomsburg for second, 50.31. Lockhaven and E-Town also in the 50s. Takes 4. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a 3x1. If so, Bloomsburg would be the winner. St. Francis, great anchor leg, 49.60. That was good for 13th fastest on the day. Moving to the men. Same distance, 4 by 100 meters. We're going to see the hurdles later. There is a discrepancy there with the women and men. High hurdles, women do 100 meters, men do 110. But this is a simple and pure race. 1 lap around the track, 1 baton, 4 teammates. So for the D3 fans out there, Ohio Wesleyan has the 12th fastest time, 46.99, which will help them get to nationals. In the Division II ranks, that standard is 46.40, which a lot of teams will get that. So the rather 30-plus have it right now. Not all of them will go to nationals. Maryville of Missouri, it's a 45.87. Pardon me, I'm looking at the women there. We're moving on to the men. That time will drop. Well, before we look at those times for the men, we are going to take a break here, and we will be back at the Bison Outdoor Classic presented by Saucony on this beautiful Sunday morning. And we're back at the Bison Outdoor Classic, presented by Saucony. Your host, Jimmy Stevenson, here alongside the FloTrack crew, giving you coverage for the next 7+ hours. This is the men's 4x1. We were talking about the standards here in Division II and Division III. In Division III, we have 3 teams currently tied for that coveted 12th spot, all at 41.22. In Division II, your standard is 40.68. 30-plus teams have that. The 12th spot is 42.2. 3 teams tied for the 16th spot at 40.42. And then on the East for Division 1, you got the 48th team at 40.27. So let's see who can take the 4x1 quarter-mile relay crown. For this first heat, we're going to feature Susquehanna in lane 2. The Riverhawks. Bucknell Bison in lane 3. Cortland State there in lane 4. Shippensburg is vacated in their lane of 5, so no ship. Slippery Rock in 6. Kutztown there in 7. And SUNY Delhi in lane 8. Pardon me, Ship is here. He was just getting ready on his curve. Getting the body right, getting the mind right. All lanes are present. Lane 1 is vacated for all the heats, and that is out of respect to level the playing field, as lane 1 would be the most challenging lane to execute a fast time due to those curves that are a little more severe on the inner lanes than the outer lanes. So again, Susquehanna, Bucknell, Cortland State, Shippensburg, Slippery Rock, Kutztown, SUNY Delhi. So a couple D2 schools next to each other there in 5 and 6. And they're off. Who's getting a good start here? Cortland State in the middle, looking strong in the white and red, but next to them, Shippensburg. Shippensburg having a great start, as is Outer Lane, SUNY Delhi, Shippensburg. Rather, that looks like Cortland State. It is Cortland State and SUNY Delhi in the red and the maroon. Shippensburg. I'm getting confused by the red. Shippensburg is looking strong down the home stretch. But Kutztown having a phenomenal anchor leg. It's going to be Shippensburg and Kutztown to the end. Shippensburg with the win, 40.47. How about it? Shippensburg 40.37 officially to Kutztown's 5.7. 40.37. That is going to be the 15th fastest time in the nation. Good run for the Shippensburg crew. Quality anchor leg from Chip and Kutztown. Not enough for Kutztown to reel in Shippensburg. Cortland State in 4th, 41.51 and 41.32 for Bucknell in 3rd. So we're going fast to slow. That should be, be careful. You never know here in the 4x1. Speed and power. That should be our fastest time of the day. And again, that's a top 15 time in the nation for Division II. Exchange zone 1, are you ready? Exchange zone 1 is up. Exchange zone 2, are you ready? All right, so Heat 2, Elizabethtown, Oswego State, Point Park, Manhattan, East Stroudsburg, but that lane does appear to be vacant. Carnegie, Mellon, and Lock Haven. We're at the beautiful campus of Bucknell University for the Bison Outdoor Classic presented by Saucony. Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium holds all the exciting action this weekend. Day 2 is a sprint day. Sprints and hurdles with a little bit of miles dashed in there. But mainly those sprints and hurdles. The oh-so-coveted Bucknell greenery is on that first turn under the mega board there. Okay, lane 6 is vacant. Elizabethtown, Oswego, Point Park, Manhattan, Carnegie Mellon in 7, Lock Haven 8. Who's out hot? Good start from Manhattan. Pretty even across the board. Carnegie Mellon, a little struggle on their stick. Lock Haven will not get the baton off and will get a DNF there. Carnegie Mellon looking strong, as is Manhattan. Carnegie Mellon in the lead, Manhattan in second, but we have Point Park coming in to close well in the all black. Carnegie Mellon struggling a little bit. Point Park going to get a leg up. Is it going to be enough to catch? Nonetheless, look at Point Park. Wow, they are going to take it. It is going to be enough to catch Carnegie Mellon. Point Park taking advantage of their smooth sticks and getting the stick off in a round quicker than anyone by less than 0.2 of a second. 42.60. Point Park. You probably saw it with CMU in the red. A little bit of struggle with that stick. Lock Haven had even more struggle from 1 to 2, and that was a DNF. So Point Park gets it. Final heat here today will be the men from Edinburgh on the far right of your screen in lane 3. IUP in 4. RIT in 5. Marymount, Virginia in 6. Bloomsburg in 7. St. Francis in 8.
Again, let's check the exchange zones. Exchange zone 1.
So we haven't seen a ton of Marymounts. Excited to see them run today. They're in lane 6 in the blue and gray. The men getting ready for their exchange zones. Typically, all the men are starting at the beginning of the exchange zone. Hypothetically, they could start anywhere, but they're milking that exchange zone. Also, part of it is if something happens, they have a little bit more buffer to get that stick in the exchange zone. Here's the reality. If you have to adjust mid-run, usually, especially with these men and how quick they are, that you're digging your own grave. Perfection is a very uncommon thing in this sport, but just under that is what we're feasibly attainable. When we try to adjust for it as sprinters, that usually results in the leg slowing down, having to speed up, as we saw in the last heat. And other teams are going to take advantage of that. Even if their stick isn't perfect, you want to keep that momentum through all legs. Lanes 1 and 2 are vacant. Edinburgh, IUP, RIT, Marymount, Bloomsburg, St. Francis. Mr. Starter has him in the hold. Gunner's up. Looks like they're off clean. Pretty blanket of a start across all 6 of these athletes. Smooth stick there from St. Francis in 8. That looks like Bloomsburg, RIT rather, on the inner lane. Very hot start from that stick. They just get it off, but he had to slow down a little bit. Is the IRT athlete in the lead right now? Marymount pulled up on him, took advantage of that. They have a much cleaner stick as RIT in their final exchange. It's Edinburgh on the inside of the rail going to catch RIT. RIT, Edinburgh, Marymount in that order. 42.76. The anchor leg is excited for that one. The victory by 1/10 of a second over Edinburgh. Giving the guy a little nugs there. Holding him off from a charging Edinburgh anchor. Well, that was quite the way to start off the day here at the Bison Outdoor Classic presented by Saucony. 4x1s, you'll see a lot more sprints on the track today. Throw some hurdles on there, some miles coming up soon. Until then, we'll be back after a short break. And we're back here at the Bison Outdoor Classic presented by Saucony. Jimmy Stevenson in the booth with FloTrack. Having a blast this morning. This will be the only distance event we will see today. Why is that? Because we spent 12 hours running around the oval yesterday. 1 mile, 1,609 to 10 meters. Gun is up, gun is off. It's clean. We got 3 heats of this, starting with the women, moving to the men. We're going fast to slow. We've altered if we're doing fast to slow, slow to fast. Today, fast to slow, rather for this event. Fast to slow. Run down the field for you. Psalm, Bauer, Briggs. Handful of Bison here. All from Bucknell, Ash, Carthers, Vibes, Stoss. We have Hammond, Ryan, Oleski, Patcher, Miller, Haskett, Roll, Burl, Carroll. So probably the most recognizable event in track and field globally is the mile. Not hyper common on U.S. soil for collegians outdoors. But the Bison Outdoor Classic presented by Saucony, does it different. We do have a full mile here. That is 4 laps plus 9 to 10 meters for a true mile distance. Typically, if you're a runner, you have to convert your 1,600 meter or 1,500 meter time. When people ask, what is your mile time? The most famous question we get. All right, Grace Vibes of Bucknell comes through 409 meters, so now she only has 3 full laps left. She covered that 9-meter distance in 74 low. She's followed by a Lock Haven Jr. Nicole Carroll and Edinburgh's Katie Bauer. Edinburgh also has Madeline Hammond there, giving chase with Alexa Briggs from Niagara and another Edinburgh Harrier there in 6th place, Eliza Miller. So Vibes, Carol Bauer, it still is that crew.
This was the 19 Bucknell seniors we honored yesterday. Final home meet.
And we have a couple more Edinburgh ladies trying to get in the mix there, continuing to sit in 4th and 6th. Edinburgh has a solid cross-country team, getting 2nd in PSACs this past late October. Madeline Hammond there, who actually is off Katie Bauer. She was the runner-up behind Eliza Miller. Katie Bauer was in 3rd. So Katie Bauer, who is in 3rd right now, was the 3rd runner for Edinburgh. But she is trying to chase down Grace Vibes and Nicole Carroll. Vibes trying to start off the distance running events here with a victory for the Bucknell Bison. She came through 8:09 at 2:30. So are these gals going to go under 5 minutes for the mile? Grace Vibes thinks so. I'm looking at Vibes right now on screen. Wouldn't be surprised. Vibes has a PR of a mile in 4:52 and a 1,500 that yields even a better time, 4:31. So let's see what Vibes can do. She is extending that gap big time. Clock reads 3:40. You want to be at 3:45 or 6 to be on pace for that sub-5. Let's see how quick she can close. Grace Vibes hits the bell lap in the lead, 3:44 mid for her split. And it looks like Katie Bauer is about 4.5 seconds behind. She passed Nicole Carroll of Lock Haven. But that's a big gap with 300 meters to go, is 5 seconds. Vibes over Bauer. How much under 5 flat can the senior Grace Vibes go? We will find out in 40 seconds. There's a shot of her lead on Bauer. Vibes is less than 200 to go. Really driving those legs, keeping a strong form the whole way. Good cadence. Doesn't look labored. Coming off this final turn, what can she do over the last 100 meters? Grace Vibes all alone. Katie Bauer still in 2nd, just barely in the screen. Big gap created over this last 600 meters. Katie Bauer coming in home as well. Vibes is going to take the first section. And let's get her time, 4:55. What a strong finish from Grace Vibes, closing in 70.61. So 74 low, 75 high, 74 mid, 70 mid, and Katie Bauer goes 5:03. Briggs comes in for 3rd for Niagara, making the top 3. And here we have a few more Edinburgh athletes in the field start. Coming on in, good finish there by Catherine Psalm for 4th, and another couple actually Edinburgh athletes go 5:06, Hammond and Miller. So that was heat 1. Are we going to see anyone else break 5 minutes in the mile? Or is Grace Vibes going to be our sole individual to do it at the Bison Outdoor Classic presented by Saucony? Way to do it at home. That's got to be exciting. Her final Bison Outdoor Classic. is this one. And Grace Vibes walks away with a victory.
Christina Diorio of Marist in 5. Aubrey Carlson of Kristen 6. Jordan Dean of St. Francis 7. Mar Mariani of Lucius in 8. Malone of Kristen 9.
Great shot of Chrissy Matthews Stadium here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. We had nothing but a beautiful weekend. Nothing but fast times. Expect that to continue. All right, how about it? Heat 2. Mag, Herman, Simo, Barker, Diorio, Carlson, Dean, Mariani, Pavone, Titone, Shope, Andreen, Stevener, Amerlink, Sundberg, Calkins, Hargis. So you would need to average 73 to break Grace Vibes 455. Gun is up. The gals are off. They just cover the 9 meters right there. And then you have 4 laps from there to be a full mile. Who is going to take the early lead off the break? Another Edinburgh athlete in the mix early, and she will take the lead. That is Katie Shope, the sophomore from Edinburgh. Behind Shope is Peyton Calkins from Canisius, and her teammate is 2 spots behind her. Sandwiched in between them is Gabby Titone from Marymount, and she has her teammate moving up on her hip, Briere Amerlink. But leading the way is Fighting Scott of Edinburgh. A familiar seeing that white and red. 78, so a 77 through quarter of this race, 78 high through 409 meters. A little bit of separation being created between Shope and then the chaser Calkins. Titone and Amerlink have the white and blue of Marymount. And that's Avery Hargis of Bucknell donning the orange top, sitting in the 3rd spot. But Katie Shope is extending that lead. She has a PR in the mile of 5:34, but a better equivalent in the 1500 of 5:01. So that'd be more like a 5:23, 5:24. So can she break that mile equivalent and go under that 5:23 mark? Perhaps even 5:20. If so, she would need to be averaging 80 seconds. Well, she is on pace for that right now with her 78 high through 409 meters. Let's see where she is at exactly halfway through. Which would be right now, 437. So she's on 5:15 pace. That would be a big PR for her. As Avery Hargis now leading the chase pack. Behind her, Titone in the white. That gap is growing to 20 plus meters. Andreen and Amerlink also leading that chase pack. They went through 240 to 241 are the chasers. Even the chase pack being strung out a little bit here. If they're going to try to reel in Shope, Hargis is going to have to make a move, or we're going to see someone have to swing wide and take that lead from Hargis. Hargis, the Bucknell chase pack leader. All Katie Shope right now, coming into 150 to go in this penultimate lap. Looks like they are making a little bit of a run on her. That gap is now 10 meters. Over that last 150, we definitely saw an assault here being made on the lead by Avery Hargis, as well as Emily Mag. Emily Mag of Franciscan of Ohio, helping Hargis make that move. Giving a little pressure from the back. 4 minutes, 4:01. They can close in the 80. That will be a 5:20. How about this? Avery Hargis, the sophomore from Bucknell, taking things into her own hands and taking the lead. Avery Hargis has a mile PR of 5:29. That was this indoor season. Well, she will absolutely break that, hoping to go under 5:20 here today. Avery Hargis. And Mag leading the way. Shope not out of it, but we have some chasers there in 4-5, trying to reel in Shope. Does anybody kind of catch Hargis or Mag, though? Avery Hargis, and actually a 5:12, 1600 PR from her high school days. Clock reads 5:07 right now. Not far from a lifetime's best is your champion. $5:17.3. That's equivalent to a 5:15 high 1600. Avery Hargis is the winner. Mag in second. Andreen pulls up for a third with a good finish of a 78 mid. So Avery Hargis' time will put her 7th overall from our first 2 heats. Samo and Titone round out that top 4. But a 75 mid close for Avery Hargis is going to enable her to take over the lead from our early leader, Shope. Shope settles back for 6th. And Hargis gets a victory. So 2 Bucknell Bison win their respective heats. Can we make it 3 in this 3rd and final heat? There's opportunity as Caitlin Fritz, the freshman, is in that heat, as is Remy Dubach. I will say there is something to say about having a home meet. There really is. If there's one thing I do not want to give up as a coach, it would be the hometown energy, the hometown excitement. Especially here at the Bison Outdoor Classic, presented by Saucony. The folks put on such a great meet. We are blessed to be able to cover it and provide you every inch of coverage on the track. So, of course, the Bison are going to leverage this opportunity to take home a victory. Grace Vives still has the fastest time on the day. I anticipate that to hold. Her teammate Avery Hargis wins heat 2. There is the iconic blue and orange that the Bison possess. What they say about Bison in my American Buffalo / Bison lore is they run into the storm. Unlike every other animal is prone to flee, Bison drive into it because they know if they go into it, they will get out of it quicker, which is clever. Going right into the storm today, heat 3, how about it? Let's give you a read on these names. Pound, Fritz, Hughes, Rufa, Minervino, Sarah Metis, Tack, Collins, McDonald, Marquina, Cole, Mayer, Stemley, Dubach, Pear, Wilson, Stover, and Service. Heat 3 of 3, women's mile. Getting out early is Franciscan of Ohio, the freshman Catherine Park. This field being strung out pretty early. So Park leads the way, and there's Fritz of Bucknell in second. In third, that's Park's teammate, Steinley. As I say that, she's getting passed by Canisius freshman Bridie Mare. Bridie Mare slips into third. But it's all Catherine Park so far. Caitlin Fritz settles in right behind her. And another Bucknell Bison is now moving up to third. So the Bison do have a chance to go back to back to back with these two Bisons sitting in 2 and 3 position behind Catherine Park. So 81-82 through the first 409 meters. And we have separation being created between the top 2 and then 3 and 4. And a little gap being created between the 4th spot and the chase pack. So Catherine Tack, there, 81 mid. Caitlin Fritz now really settling right on her. Remy Dubach has Bridie Mayer take the lead on the chasers. So Mayer leads Dubach. And Mayer is reeling in Fritz and Tack. And we see some of these chasers in the mix too. Was that pace a little hot early? They're falling off of it slightly, is Tack and Fritz. Hence why we see Mayer and Dubach. And really, a good chunk of the field still in this, reeling in your leaders of Tack and Fritz. Remy Dubach seemed for a second, the far left of your screen, in the orange of Bucknell, to want to go wide. Even now, it seems like that's the case. 2:49 through 809 meters. So they're on pace for an 5:37. That was an 87, so definitely a drop in pace for Tack and Fritz. Meanwhile, Mayer and Dubach running 86, and some of the chasers, Saramides, running 85. That's why all of a sudden, there's 6 girls on your screen. But Tack still leads it. Abby Hughes of Marymount also in that battle. Saramides in the purple, moving up to second right now, challenging Tack, now taking the lead over Tack. So it's Saramides of Niagara. The sophomore leads this group. Both Bison still in it. Fritz in second, Dubach in fourth, as Tack is being spat out the back of this lead pack, with Dubach now moving into third. But Tack sticks on this pack, so we have a pack of 4. And then Mayer of Canisius leads that chase group in the all black. Abby Hughes is looking strong, as is Caitlin Fritz, your top 2. Anyone's game, even beyond this top 4, as we approach the final lap. Hughes takes it at 4:14. They close in an 81. You're looking at a 5:35. They just ran an 84. Hughes is putting the gas on this one. Will Fritz be able to respond? How about Tack and Dubach in 3 and 4? Is this going to be a back-to-back-to-back Bucknell Bison women's mile sweep? Or does Natalie Saramides have something to say about it? I was saying Abby Hughes. This is Saramides. Saramides is leading. Saramides over Fritz. Dubach still content to sit behind Tack. She's going to have to make a move if there's any chance to break into this top 2 that you're seeing on your screen. Saramides, Fritz. It's been them for the last minute and a half. Well, how about the last 30 seconds? Here we go. Saramides, Fritz. We're having chased by Dubach. Dubach is making a big move. Will Dubach be able to reel in these 2? How about this? Caitlin Fritz, what do you say? The freshman, Caitlin Fritz, now hitting the afterburners. Fritz over Saramides. She's going to take this one. Look at the clock. 5:30 low, 5:30 mid. Caitlin Fritz, your champion in Heat 3, accomplishing the Bucknell Bison sweep. Heat 1, Heat 2, Heat 3. The ladies from Bucknell University, all they do is win, at least so far in this meet. For the individual events, it's been nothing but the Bison. 5:32.35 officially for Fritz. Dubach comes around for third. All smiles there for Fritz and her crew.
6th. Catherine Song of Duquesne was with 5:08.82. Great Niagara third, 5:08.32. Bauer then rose second, 5:03.36. Grace Davis of Bucknell wins the women's mile in 4:55.25.